It's like the news, but you don't have to know anything. You stupid liberals need to stop asking for evidence of the things that conservatives say, because you're making them feel sad. This is me complaining about conspiracy theories again. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls NPR Democrat propaganda, threatens to slash its funding. She's on the committee with the Doge, and she's going to suggest to cut NPR funding because it says true things. The most insulting thing you can do to Maytag is say true things. Okay? She does not live in empiricism. She does not live within the true world. She does not live in a place of measurements, comprehension, and facts. God, no. That is not where Maytag lives. Marjorie Taylor Greene lives in make-believe pretend land where feelings are the only thing that matters. And she feels like Donald Trump's awesome and NPR is a bunch of liars. She feels like NPR, the most boring, plain Jane, here's a fact, 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 reporting that we have anywhere on the goddamn planet is Democrat propaganda, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is anti-reality. And being anti-reality is fun. You know, you can do it anytime you want. You can be anti-reality anytime you want. Conspiracy theories are fun because they don't have to have measurable qualities. Just vaguely gesture towards anything and you can start to have some fun yourself. Houseplants are plotting a rebellion. Houseplants are secretly plotting to overthrow humans. They've been pretending to just sit there and look pretty, but in reality, they're developing their own intelligence. They've organized a root coup, and they're going to take over your home. Be careful the next time you water them. They're secretly making plans for a plant uprising. Cucumbers are actually sentient. They are an advanced recon of plant uprising. The cucumbers have been pretending to be vegetables, but they are in actuality an advanced species capable of controlling your thoughts. They've been waiting for the right moment to invade, starting with the global popularity of pickles. You may think they're just tasty and sour, but really, they've been manipulating your taste buds for decades. It's like the news, but you don't have to know anything. And if you do it in a vague enough way, you can never be wrong. Because you're just theorizing. You were just playing around with ideas. Waldo, why don't you believe in the marketplace of ideas? This stuff can be true. Watch here. Listen. Let's look at Tucker Carlson.
I know a couple of people who I know are compromised in the U.S. government, and I sort of feel sad for them, because how'd you like to be in that position? All it would take is one brave man to give a press conference. There was actually a guy, Cokie Roberts' father, Hale Boggs, who stood up in Congress. He was this majority leader in about 1970. He was on the Warren Commission, and he did not buy the conclusions at all, and he told other people that. He was from Louisiana, and he stood up and made some noises about on the floor of the House about how the CIA was doing things they were not supposed to do in domestic politics and had unchecked power, etc.
Numerous members of Congress have reported to me that their telephone conversations and activities are the subject of surveillance by the FBI, confirming my own experience, which substantiates these allegations.
He was immediately denounced as mentally ill, probably an alcoholic, and then he disappeared in a plane crash with Begich in 1972 in Alaska, and the plane was never seen again. Look, I'm not saying he was murdered for that, though. I would not at all.
He's not saying
he was, but why is he the last guy to say anything like that?
Well, because he died in a plane crash and was declared mentally.
It's like the news, but more fun. You don't get to say, I'm not saying that the CIA murdered him, but nobody else says that, and he was murdered by the CIA, but I'm not saying that the CIA killed him. That would be ridiculous. He didn't do anything like that. The CIA would not murder anybody, except for this time they totally fucking did, and I know for a fact, but I can't prove it because there's no evidence, and nothing that I'm saying is real, and I'm just spitballing here. Why are you coming after me? Why are you asking for evidence? That's some gay libtard shit. Stop asking for evidence, damn it. Don't ask for evidence. Evidence is for bitches, okay? You get to make up nonsense and you get money. Exactly. Conspiracy theories are like the news, but more fun because they've got drama and intrigue and nonsense. So I think this is the way that we're going to function for a very long time. We are moving forward in the misinformation age. We've got here, let's look at, so that was Tucker. And so, yeah, he's not following the scientific method here. This is the scientific method over here. You get an idea, you perform experiments, then does the evidence support the idea? No, it was a bad idea. Start over. If it does, you've got a theory. Then you use the theory to better understand the universe. Then you discover new evidence. Can the theory be modified to explain the new evidence? No. Revolution, get a new idea. If it does, you improved the theory and use the theory to better understand the universe. Now, this is the scientific method. Tucker here is on the faith method. Get an idea, ignore any contradicting evidence, discover new evidence, ignore contradicting evidence, discover new evidence. And the evidence is just because that's how he feels. You see, he feels like the CIA is out to get him all the time. He doesn't need facts to suggest that it's not. He doesn't need your facts proving him wrong. He doesn't need your evidence. He doesn't need to provide evidence to prove the things he feels. That's gay shit. Stop doing it. You stupid liberals, need to stop asking for evidence of the things the conservatives say, because you're making them feel sad.
Hello human, it is me Canuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
Here's the scientific method. Here are the facts. What conclusions can we draw from them? But the creationist method is, here's the conclusion. What facts can we find to support it? The difference being that you go the right direction with science, but with creationism and religion, honestly, they give you the conclusions. Then you go and you look for the facts that back up your conclusions, and then you ignore anything that proves you incorrect. Carbon dating proves that the world is more than 6,000 years old. They'll just ignore that. That's where the blind spot comes in. The carbon dating proves that how old a civilization is, and it's longer than 6,000 years old, but they put the blind spot up so that they don't have to see it or hear it. Evidence is nerd shit. Absolutely. 10 past 11. That's exactly the point I'm getting to. Evidence is nerd shit. I just listened to Steve Bannon's show for a week. What's coming is clear. The biggest fight MAGA is about to pick probably won't be with liberals. It will be with neocons. So what they're going to do is push MAGA ideas, even though they're bad for us, even though it's bad for business. A lot of the Republicans, a lot of the rich people are going to say, hey, if you get rid of all our workers, we won't be able to make a profit. MAGA and Steve Bannon and Donald Trump aren't going to give a shit. They are going to move forward, even though everyone is telling them it's a bad idea and damaging and harmful. They're ready for this. They want it. Steve Bannon wants to fight against Mitt Romney. He does. He hates the left, but he just beat the left 2 weeks ago at the election. His next challenge is neocons, center of the road Mitt Romney types who say, if we deport 11 million people, no one's going to be able to work, no one's going to make any money, and the economy's going to fail. That's the next war coming, is the crazies with their tinfoil hats against the neocons. Here is Tucker Carlson saying something crazy again.
Daily discussing what happens then. It's just like insane. Trust me, that's like a secular, rational position on it. You don't have to be a Christian or religious in any sense to acknowledge that that's just true. No one ever talks about that. And so I just want to approach this election with that perspective. And that event, that attack on me has helped me to do that. So again, I'm really grateful for it.
He's talking about the demonic attack that happened to him while he was asleep. Sorry. Context, I suppose.
But I wouldn't change it if I could.
He says, I want to go back to about the dropping of the atomic bomb and the beginning of secular society. My dad and the greatest generation fought on the battlefields of that conflict and were one of the driving forces with obviously the Russian people and the Chinese people to deliver us from that time from Imperial Japan and fascist rule in Europe. But at the same time, Oppenheimer, and this is what's so chilling when you say about secular, he used, I think it was the Hindu god Vishnu. They called the project the Trinity Project, right? And at the very test there in New Mexico, he quoted what the god Vishnu about now. I'm the destroyer of worlds, right? Don't you find that chilling, or is that tied to your?
Because it was a magic spell.
We've now dropped the spiritual, which even Oppenheimer realized. In The Greatest Generation, we kind of went to
He did a magic spell.
A totally materialistic, secular society that leads America to this place in 2024. And the instrument of its turnaround or its rejuvenation is a guy like Donald Trump.
Well, we didn't drop the spiritual. We just embraced, another element of it. I mean, if you're quoting a pagan god as you're incinerating civilians with a nuclear weapon, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that was the pivot point in America's history. And it's just so interesting how resistant a lot of people who I consider friends, who I agree with on most things, are to acknowledging that. That call you a pro-Hitler, you're a Holocaust denier if you question the nuclear weapons or whatever. I don't care. Of course, I'm none of those things. It goes without saying, or it should. No, I'm just noting the obvious, which is that American society changed profoundly in August of 1945, and it's reflected in the culture, it's reflected in the architecture, the art, the design, the literature. Nothing was the same after the end of the Second World War. Again, it's not a pro-Nazi statement. I couldn't be more anti-Nazi. Obviously, I'm an American.
He thinks Americans can't be Nazis.
I care about this country and what happened to it after 1945. And it's a very clear demarcation line. And it seems obvious to me that nuclear weapons are demonic. There's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear technology in the first place, which are not human forces, obviously.
Not human.
And let me just ask.
Not human forces. Demons, aliens, angels, something, devils, something that isn't human, created nuclear power and nuclear weapons.
Ask you this, which I've asked a million people at dinner parties, but never in public. What was the moment we can point to that nuclear technology was invented? We can point to Isaac Newton and say what apple fell on his head, or we can point to Albert Hoffman in his lab messing around with the ergot bacteria. That's when LSD was made. I've never met a person who can isolate the moment where nuclear technology became known to man.
Except that we can. You're an idiot, Tucker. Here we go. John Cockcroft and Irish physicist Ernest Walton first produced nuclear transformations in 1932, and that in the next few years, scientists Irene Curie, Frederick Joliot, and Enrico Fermi progressed the science further. Nuclear fission itself was discovered by Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann in Berlin, working under Niels Bohr in late 1938, which would spark massive developments in nuclear science in the next year. In a matter of moments, it's easy to find a timeline disproving Carlson's contention that people don't know when nuclear technology was discovered. This is the problem. This is the guy that millions of people listen to. And he told them, we don't know where nuclear comes from. And they believe it. We are in the misinformation age, and there is nothing I can do to stop it. Maybe together we can all band together and suggest, hey, Tucker, you're an idiot. Nukes, how do they work? Nobody knows how they work. It's true. There's some sort of magic happening inside there. The Oppenheimer cast Ultima, and we don't know the magic spell, the magic words to cast Ultima. We don't know how that works. Tucker doesn't understand it. He hasn't been taught it, which means it doesn't exist. He is such a small brain that if he hasn't specifically been taught it and heard it from a trusted source, and his trusted sources are all liars, it didn't happen. This is the thing I'm complaining about. This is why I wear the hat. This is why I keep pointing towards conspiracy, because we are no longer a society that is run by the intelligent. We are a society run by the conspiracy theorists. They have taken over because it feels good, man. Sounds like a lot of those demonic magnets. Exactly. Nobody knows how magnets work. Nobody can even comprehend how they function. Nobody knows. According to Tucker, according to the idiocracy that is now in charge, they don't know where nuclear stuff came from. They don't know how magnets work. They don't know how the economy works. They don't know anything. And if you try to tell them, that's nerd shit. If you try to explain to them, that's nerd shit. That's liberal cuckoldry. That's liberal bullshit. Education is liberal indoctrination. We are beyond idiocracy. We're in the worst timeline, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get ugly as Donald Trump continues to fill his cabinet with the worst of us, the dumbest of us, and the people who are not curious enough to even type into Google, when did we discover radioactivity? When did we discover nuclear? It's very simple. Tucker Carlson could have done that. He's a very, very rich man. He has a computer. He has access to the internet. I know he does. Look, he's right here on my screen. He's got a microphone in front of his face. I've got a microphone. He's got graphics on his screen. I've got graphics on my screen. Why does he get millions of dollars to lie, but people who tell the truth don't get shit? I'll tell you why. It's because reality tastes like shit, and bullshit is delicious. He peddles bullshit, and his fans lap it up. They love it. Bullshit is delicious. It's wonderful. And the entire American population is getting fat on bullshit. They love it, and they want some more of it. And if you try and sneak a little bit of truth in there, they'll fucking attack you. Do you think that they'll listen to Elon about science? No. Or is Elon a fake science guy? He is a salesman. This hits hard at home, dude. I know. I'm glad it's hitting hard. That's what I'm going for. I'm glad you brought up Elon, because that's my next thing to talk about.
Pressing the thumbs up button will release chemicals in your human brain that will make you feel.
Elon makes a joke about buying MSNBC, and then we have to talk about it all day long. Is MSNBC for sale? No. But Elon made a joke. Maybe I'll buy MSNBC. Donald Trump Jr. talks about castration of MSNBC hosts with Elon and Joe Rogan. Right-wingers are fantasizing about Elon buying MSNBC. Joe Rogan asks to take Rachel Maddow's job if Elon Musk buys MSNBC. This wasn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. It's not for sale. He just said some bullshit, and now we have to report on it for a couple of days. I don't think Tucker's an idiot. I think he's a liar and knows that he doesn't care because he's more profitable to be a liar. Well, I think he could have become what he is by natural selection. When he tells the truth, his ratings go down. When he talks about a certain subject, numbers go down. His producers come and yell at him and say, hey, this story got our numbers down. But when you talked about UFOs and demon possession and that time you got attacked in your sleep by a demon, numbers rose. You can see this on YouTube too. What's his name? Jimmy Dore. Absolute piece of shit. He says he's on the left, but he's not, honestly. I swear to God. He gets this many views when he complains about Republicans. And he gets this many views when he complains about Joe Biden. So what's he going to do? He's going to complain about Joe Biden more often. Then he's going to get this many views, and then he gets this much money. It's very simple. I think Tucker could be in that situation as well, where talking about real things, complaining about the Republicans, complaining about stuff that is actual and correct, gets him fewer views and nobody cares. When he does the drama, when he starts shoveling bullshit, numbers go up through the roof. Like some low carb bullshit, please. Well, I suppose we could find some low carb bullshit. I don't know. Carbs are bad for you or good for you. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm sure we can find a diet for you. 10 past 11. Have you tried the all bacon diet? It's entirely bullshit, but it tastes great. Not enough demons to go around. I know. Jimmy Dore, another liar. Yeah, exactly. He's the left and he's a leftist. No, he's not. He's paid to talk, and he gets paid more when he shits on Joe Biden and Hillary and the Dems. So that's what he does because he wants money, you see. When passing out truth is less profitable than spreading bullshit, more people will spread bullshit, obviously. I don't know what to do about this. I don't know how to solve this conundrum that we have found our way into. It's to do with the humans and their stupid monkey brains and being entertained. I get it. I don't know what to do about it. An excuse to eat bacon. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me, as your literal dietitian, tell you that you can eat as much bacon as you want. It's never going to do any harm to you. And you should have it as much as you like. And that's a lot of bullshit. And I'm not in charge of anything. And I'll put a little asterisk here saying that I'm not a real doctor, but you can do whatever you want. And that's the kind of bullshit that's killing us. It's killing the entire country, and I don't know what to do about it. Our entire society is going to drown in bullshit. It's not for sale. It's not a serious idea, but we have to talk about it because they set the parameters for the debate. The people that are the least serious and the least connected to reality get to decide what we debate every day. And I don't know why. I don't quite understand why the right-wing media ecosystem gets some kind of message first thing in the morning telling them what they're going to talk about all day. Then they do. The rest of the mainstream media in the center has to react and talk about what the right wing is currently freaking out about. There's not a left-leaning mainstream media, even MSNBC is just for the Dems. That's not left-leaning. But the left-leaning people online, like myself, then go on debunking whatever the right said and correcting what the center said. And I don't know how we wrestle back control of the narrative. Imagine thinking bacon is healthy people who just say anything, don't they? Yeah, exactly. Now you want some bacon. Well, good news. I've got a deal for you. Just type exclamation point bacon and you'll be forwarded to my own online Shopify store where you can order some Waldo brand bacon. It's like 60% pork. Okay. The rest, something smaller with more legs. Don't ask. But yeah, you can go in there right now and order some Waldo brand bacon. What could possibly go wrong? Ha ha, fool. I lied. And you bought it. You idiot. Not really. I'm just kidding. I didn't really expect to talk so much tonight about bacon, but I did. I'm going to take my hat off. No, it's not real. I'm lying. I was just goofing. I didn't know we were going to be talking about bacon tonight so much. And then it came, and then it was there, and then I was like, okay, well, just roll it. Yes, and is the trick to proper improv. Anyway, how's it going? I'm going to play Halls of Torment, you guys. For one of the better blunders out there. This entire stream has just been a trick to you guys to get you guys to go buy my bacon. Yeah. This stream brought to you by bacon. You know you want it.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.